Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, to Honcast here. We got the Jedi Bounty League coming at you on what is the final day of the group stages. After this best of five here today, we will know how both groups advancing on into the bracket stage, which starts this weekend here, and continuing things on with ultimately another $14,000 going to be on the line going into the bracket stage. But first, we need to determine one more team out of Group B. We know one of the teams, and actually speaking of them, formerly known as Nullstone, now known as Complexity here. That's right, officially picking up the Complexity, well, more so Complexity, officially picking up the team. Nullstone Gaming here as of late this last week, officially announced this is their first match under the new tag. It is good to have Complexity back, no doubt. With that said, they are advancing on no matter what happens here. However, BMG, they need a win to advance on. If they do not, it will be fresh, now known as Druids, actually. Speaking of another team stepping into the scene as far as an organization goes. So things are just going great all around here as far as the Haunt scene is concerned, and excited for a good best of five tonight, no doubt. With that said, of course, I have a co-caster joining me. I am going to be joined by the one and only SureCan. SureCan, how's it going?
It's going pretty good. It's a bit late in Europe already. It's like 10 p.m. But I'm hoping that this is going to be an exciting game nonetheless, because, I mean, it has the chance to really go for, best of five, all five games. So it's going to be fun.
It could be a late night for Europeans, no doubt.
Yeah.
with that said, of course, yeah. Again, that's the thing. Obviously, with now known as Complexity being the American team here, these Jedi Bounty League matches, the weekdays have been at this default time of 4 p.m. Eastern or 2200 Central European time. So a little bit later on the day, but hey, it is what it is. Grind out a best of five here. We'll see how that plays out. So and that is the other thing about, again, I have to keep catching myself. Complexity. Have to make sure we say that here. They are known for the longer games as well, so perhaps to their advantage, seeing as, the European scene, it is a little bit later on for them. But hey, it is what it is, like I said, and it's just something you have to deal with there. Anyways, we got a draft to talk about here, SureCan, so let's start talking about what's actually happening here.
Okay, so I mean, Midas is really, complex. I can't get over it. It's really Nullstone-esque. It's also very Complexity-esque. Like Oscar plays it really, really well. So we've seen that, we know it, and we also know that they often switch around the roles with Fuzzy Sloth and Oscar, whether they go mid or suicide. So they don't know. It's like it's a pick that they don't know where it's going to go, which is really nice. And then there's the Cthulhu Fund for what you got. He really enjoys that hero. And Moira is just a top-tier support right now. So that's it for Legion. And for Hellborn, I was actually, not surprised that they picked Behemoth first, because we know Root of Z plays it really well. And clearly the hero has received some buffs recently as well. So I think he's a really strong hero. I mean, Quincy is annoyed at the Aluna, though, and Swiftblade is just a solid hero. He's a very flexible hero, really nice to pick up.
Yeah, the Aluna pickup, it is kind of one of those, especially as of late heroes, that we have been seeing every now and then. And again, as you pointed out, Quincy likes to really stress the stats on a hero like that. And not the highest win percentage when it comes to Aluna in that support role. Do you know, what are your thoughts on Aluna as a hero? I mean, don't worry about the stats, what they say. Do you think Aluna is actually a good support option, or?
I think what people really need to take into account is that the Emerald Red, if you're going to be if you're going to be ganking, Aluna is really strong with the global power throw, because then he can be in a different lane warding something or other. He needs level 6 first, of course, but that power throw is a really long range ability, so it's really nice for ganking. But then for team fights, he also now has received that buff that he can stun up to 8 targets. It doesn't work as I originally had hoped, that it would go from, of course, 2 to, that it would take the normal addition thing, so it would be 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 5, 5, 5. No, it would go 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, 4, 5, 5. That's actually how the Aluna stun works now. So if there's no creeps around, it's kind of annoying. because you won't get the 5-sec stun on all the heroes. So if there's only 5 heroes, that is, of course.
Yeah.
So in that way, I really wish that they would have done it the other way, because then Aluna would have really been a stronger pickup, because we do see from the stats that she's not the best.
That's
I did play it though.
Yeah.
I did play it though on Saturday.
Okay. That's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
You were one of those teams that played.
Yeah, it's really strong aggressive
Okay.
trialing, and that's why we decided to pick it up. And I do prefer it in the semi-support role, because getting some farm on a Luna, like a Hellflower or Tablet, Storm Spirit, is really nice, because she also has the getaway with the E ability.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. And, okay, next hero, Madman.
Yes.
So, I mean, now we kind of know the lanes. We have a Madman mid or Midas mid, and then a Madman Suicide or a Midas Suicide. Either way, it works, I think.
Yeah, of course. Wouldn't be surprised to see it in either one of those roles. I mean, Madman is more of a BMG hero, if anything, so it is kind of interesting seeing it on Complexity's side, but they happen to snatch it up, and it makes you wonder a little bit, too, if that is a case of we think they could have possibly picked it up, so we take it ourselves. But BMG, they follow up with that Pebbles pickup now to come out, so I'm sure we'll probably be Boxy here. He's stepped up as more as a mid player, of course, as of late for BMG. And get his hands on Pebbles. So now it's just a question of where will the Swiftblade end up? Will it be a Suicide or will it be a short lane Swiftblade?
I'm assuming it's going to go to Make, because he's been playing it really well recently. He also really enjoys pulling the lane when he plays the Swiftblade, getting boots first and then making sure to get that level 2 and then a shield on top of it, which is a really strong combination, especially with some extra regen. He can do a really good job at like keeping the enemy carry at a low amount of gold.
Yeah.
And he's not the weakest 1v1 either, because you can technically spin down all the waves. So,
okay.
Yeah, like they still need a carry, and I think they're going to be tri-laning, short lane, stacking everything, making sure that whatever they pick as a carry is going to, get good farm.
Yeah. You got on the side of Complexity. They're right clicking that Drunken Master. Again, this is a hero that we do see every now and then, too. And it seems like we see it, if anything, in the Swiftblade matchup, where obviously a lot of the physical presence going through the Swiftblade and able to latch on, and even with the spin, of course, happening. So it seems like that is a popular choice. They were also, I was going to say, they're also right-clicking the Oogie, so clearly some decisions to be made there. They're going to end with the Oogie, and especially the anti-complexity, specifically Beaver Banger. That's scary. Now, be careful on the avatar they choose. I don't know if that bug is fixed yet. Oh boy.
Oh man, yeah.
Good times,
I was in that game. I was in that game.
Great times. Fantastic times.
Yeah, fantastic. But I think that this might have been the game where Berserker was actually viable. Versus the Swiftblade Suicide, because of course the chain spike goes through the spin because it's physical.
Yeah.
And with the amount of stuns, having a Staff of the Master on that Berserker will let him just get out of there. It lets him, man up, kill everything. And on that note, stuns don't even last that long on him. So, ooh.
Whoa.
The new hero.
Right, the new hero. So not only one we've seen for the first time, but stat-wise, but again, yeah, she just became eligible. And apparently we have seen her. Okay, well, we haven't seen her on Oncast, but I guess one team did actually give her a shot.
What team was that?
Yeah, who did try her? That's interesting. I didn't hear about that.
Last weekend. It must have been last weekend.
It had to have been. Yeah, she came out last week, so pretty much all that was on the table there had to be like in the earlier rounds of last weekend. So, but Taro, it's going to be in the hands of Baltazar here, and obviously when it comes to carry potential, you can argue she's actually one of the strongest because of the ultimate and how it can scale. Now, will it get there to be that really big threatening crit chance that it can be, is the question. But I mean, I don't know. I have to absorb this now. We're seeing a Taro. I can't say I expected to see her in a match.
All right. Okay, Taro, first of all, they're addressing the Madman on Asuka.
Okay.
The W ability, Farscry, gives vision of Invis. So Madman will have no chance in this lane. I'm telling you now, Madman will suffer at the start of the game. But the one like negative, well, one really negative thing about Taro is the fact that she actually needs to be in kills in order for her ulti to, of course, stack up and be more effective later on in the game. And just leveling it is not going to be enough. Like she needs to also be around early kills to really shine with that crit. I mean, I've seen Taros especially in mid wars. Oh my god, I hate this hero in mid
Different
wars.
story.
Different story, but this hero can crit up to 1800 damage. Like it's insane, and that wasn't even full items. Not a Doombringer or anything either. Just
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, again, her
Definitely a lot of carry.
potential. It's she no doubt is a very hard carry potentially, but that I think you're kind of making the point there. It's true. It needs some time. It's going to need a lot of time to build up. Now her skill set, it actually it's kind of friendly for team fights. To be fair, I mean the Q's a decent ability with the ricochet, holding people in place, and it even deals. Is it physical? Yeah, it is physical damage on top of that. So. You got that benefit there. The Far Scry, as you're mentioning, is going to be great in the laning phase and in general throughout the game. I mean, it's just good to put it on target, if anything, for a second attack / the minus armor that it applies as well. Could be beneficial for your teammates to help assist get the kills. And the Bound by Fate, I assume, isn't too bad of a tool. At this level of play, you would expect the complexity players to be able to, realize that they have the Bound on Fate on them and, keeping that in mind when they're trying to run from one another. But, at the same time, when you're in the heat of the moment, I mean, it's bound you could get stunned. So it wouldn't be out of the question. It does apply the slow nonetheless. So I kind of
yeah, definitely. It's a 10% movement speed slow, so it's not the most, but on paper, Bound by Fate looks like a really, really strong skill. But there's been heroes where, like, for example, Midas, who kind of has a disjoint rather than a movement ability. When he uses it, he doesn't get pulled back, for example. Okay. Same thing with a Hag Blink, Mage Bane Blink, all these like disjoint abilities, they don't care about Bound by Fate. They don't get pulled back.
They still get stunned though, don't they?
I'm not entirely sure.
I'm pretty sure they do because I remember going over that in the spotlight actually. I remember that being a thing, and I believe they should still get stunned. They just wouldn't get pulled all the way back in.
I think it depends on how far they blink away.
Okay.
Because if they blink their full 1,000 range away, then they're not. I don't think they're going to be pulled back. But I'm just going to say I don't know for sure. But what I do know for sure is that Cthulhuphant is going to suffer because it is possible to interrupt it midway with that, Bound by Fate.
Oh.
Because we've seen like a Cthulhuphant getting stunned mid-charge by Magnus, for example.
Yeah.
And then his charge stops.
Yeah.
Just outright, it just stops. So I'm assuming that Bound by Fate has the same effect. And going over the other skill, actually, what I really like about Taro is that everything about her screams, we're going into the late game. Ricochet, 75% of your attack damage, not base damage, attack damage. This is a really important thing, by the way, because attack damage means he can get a Rift Shard Savage and all those types of items, not agility items, and still do massive damage.
Ooh,
so
good point.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, again, keep going back to. I mean, I think it's that no one would argue that her late game has to be just damn strong if she gets farm. But you were making a great point there. To be fair, to have that ultimate scale well, I mean, she needs to be involved, and you can't expect her to be the most involved earlier on in the game. Again, she's going to want to sit back and get farm, of course. So that's where it's a little funky, when it comes to her skill set and the synergy there. Now we'll see, we're gonna have to wait and see. You also had Quincy kind of pointing out I guess that was a mistype there. So that was a stat for Kane actually, not for Taro. So Taro has not been seen in competitive play. No one did play her.
Oh, that Kane was mine.
Then there you go. Yeah, that's right. You're the one that played the game. God, that was a fun game.
That was a definitely fun game.
Yeah.
Yeah. Too bad though.
It happens.
It happens.
It's
sync.
Good effort. Yeah, great effort, but came up short, unfortunately.
All right, so we are gonna have Oscar 1v1 versus Taro, and I would still put this heavily in favor of Taro. Because, I mean, that Far Scry ability, he can just deny his own creeps. Like, I've seen him, if he's ever pushed up the lane, he can put the, Far Scry on the Madman and then attack the tower. and it bounces onto the Madman.
It's ridiculous. The going up against that ability has to be one of the most frustrating abilities in the game, as far as the laning phase. Yeah, it's ridiculous. And so that actually, you were at the point earlier too about the Madman matchup. But do you think is it same? You see right here, it's on him and the range on it, and he has to play pretty far back. Do you think they picked up Taros just because of the Madman? Like they knew that was going to be Suicide Madman. They figured, let's get a perfect matchup for it and see how it works later on.
I'd like to say that Taro is similar to a Puppet Master in terms of I'm going to beat you 1v1 and there's nothing you can do about it. Because, I mean, look at this. Any hero would suffer from this. Madman especially so because he's melee. But even ranged heroes can't deal with it. I think that Taro is one of the strongest laners in the game right now.
Yeah.
Similar to, like, I'm going to go ahead and say it, a succubus, but we don't see that enough.
Yeah.
And now Behemoth, actually. Okay.
Yeah, he's coming in, but going to be fine. Again, the Far Cry also worth noting, as you pointed out, it will go through the invis. So even though he's using that stock ability, good for speed still, but he still could be seen with that ability on him. So, yeah, do not expect Madman to have the best start. Now, as we say, I mean, he's 3-0 here. Again, it's still very early on, but I assume that's, don't expect him to continue to get some okay farm and levels because that's a difficult time for him. So. Beaverbanger, though, playing the Oogie here on the bottom lane with Moira. So Moira Oogie versus the Swiftblade. You mentioned Swiftblade and his suicide potential. Make going to be playing it here. You expect Make to have a fair time. I mean, he's got the spin as a escape tool, if anything, and he should stay alive here, you think?
I honestly expected him to get boots because Moira isn't the best support versus Swiftblade. If you can spin down Moira, I mean, you can like dodge the stun with your spin. But what he's done so far is really, really good. He's managed to get some lane control back. He has 5 creep kills, decent amount of GPM because of that. And I mean, looking at Oogie, I think we can compare the Pebbles and the Oogie because they're both in dual lanes. But here, actually talking about that.
Oh, wow. Didn't even catch that until the very last second. Yep, they dive on a Midas. I mean, the hasted Aluna, was that really the biggest key right there?
I didn't see all of it myself, but what I do want to say is that it helped, of course, to get the first initial stun in, and then Power Throw just does so much damage, and that's another strength of Aluna. She can lane really, really well because of 600 range and a nuke and a stun. And I have to say, I don't know if you have stats on it, Quincy, but Midas versus dual lanes in mid, I don't think it does so well versus strong supports. And for me, strong supports that come to mind, like laning supports, are Rhapsody and, of course, Aluna now. Not so much Torture in mid lane, of course, but in the Suicide, definitely. I like, he has a difficult time, at least.
So, if you're Complexity, are you getting at that maybe they should just have more babysit the Midas here almost, or is this just they have to kind of accept it with how it is?
Midas can recover.
Okay.
He just has to make sure not to die, and then they have to stack all the woods. Although BMG has done a really, really good job at blocking out these 2 camps from Complexity, so that's going to be a bit difficult. But they really should focus on that farm. I mean, Cthulhu Fun is suffering.
Oh, top lane, Madman again in some trouble. You do see the Far Cry on him, going to the Imbus, of course. He's going to be fine at the end as he gets the distance right there. The Fissure's done on the wrong side. If that was on the correct side right there, very likely could have been a kill, but the angle just wasn't appropriate, so Madman able to escape out of there at least. But again, you do see the struggles are real. 11-1. Now he also went into the jungle. He actually took a couple of farm from the Behemoth, I noticed, when he was trying to do the pull right there, so that was good for him. But Taro, as expected, is having a very, very, very good time here at 25-12 right now, 310 gold per minute to start. But Pebbles is leading the way at GPM, of course, and again, a Bloodlust kill definitely helps with that. 400 gold per minute. So you mentioned Midas wanting to recover. Well, a good start right here. Cthulhu Fawn coming in with the Invis. Midas level 2 nearby, level 3, excuse me, has those Shards of Harkons to apply. They know something's up, but they don't want to dive. I feel like they could have even tried for a dive right here on a Pebbles and go for a quick kill, but they choose to play
He is
safe.
quite tanky.
Yeah.
And if you look at Midas' skill set, Aluna might be in trouble, though.
No, not yet. Okay.
All right, but Midas' skill set is wrong for this because he has this elemental warp. Oh, there we go.
There we go. He went out for the creep kill, and now he's going to realize that was a bad decision. Down goes Pebbles right there. So, yeah, the patience finally pays off. You know, I would have been a lot more antsy of a player, so props to what you got right there.
Yeah, definitely.
Patient.
But he just got a little bit out of position. I was actually talking about the Luna being a more difficult kill because he only has his elemental warp and his Q rather than Q and W. But, you know, Pebbles was right next to him, so to speak. So that was a bit easier. But look at this. Oh, top lane.
Yeah, I do see right here. He's trying to get away. It looks like he is going to be fine. Well, for the time being, the Ricochet bouncing around. There's that block they were looking for, though. And now Mammoth Camarado attacks. It should be a kill. Yep, Taro gets it. So there's some charges starting to assist in. And also he levels it up, of course. So obviously he got it at level 1. But now he's got that crit chance. And that's going to start adding up with the charges. So well played. And so it begins for Taro.
I'm really curious to see what Balthazar is going to go this game. I know for a fact that Farscry, when you put it on an enemy, you know, lightning charges, they accumulate twice as fast, almost like a tremble,
True.
if you hit twice. So I would definitely think that that is a good option, and then go for more of a tanky route, similar to, you know, what a Clanks does. You go for the lightning first, and then using that to farm, you get bigger items.
Yeah.
To tank up a bit. Because the hero does damage of itself because of that crit. And the Q is a really strong ability. I am also curious about his skill build. 'Cause, I mean, it's a hero we've never seen in competitive before. So I'm curious about a lot of things, but I think it's valid to be curious.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And you know, I'm with you. You compare it to Clanks, I think that's a decent comparison there. And that's actually a really good point about the Farscry. You know, I remember bringing up in the spotlight, too, how I wasn't even thinking Thunderclaw, to be honest. But things like Shieldbreaker, attack modifiers in general, it will go to the second target as well. So then there's that to keep in mind. Bottom lane, by the way, Oogie's in trouble. The Primal Surge is up, however. He's trying to turn it. It's not going to happen. Swiftblade gets the kill on Oogie. Who saw that coming? At 7:40 into the game, that is a huge kill, though, for Bad Monkey Gaming right there.
That is insane. Look at Swiftblade's level as well now. He has the highest XPM on the suicide lane. Like, 300 GPM? Breaky.
Yeah,
this is insane.
That's not good.
Like, Oogie was the one who was supposed to win their lane, and then this happens.
Yeah. I mean, Oogie was he was at like 380 gold per minute. He was doing very well, of course, but I mean, he's still doing decent. But yeah, I mean, I didn't catch the beginning of that, so I know that Moira wasn't there for whatever reason. She was off, I mean, whether she was stacking, I'm sure, or something like that. But Swiftblade happened to find the perfect opportunity for Swift Slashes. I'm sure all 3 bounces hit and eventually spun down for the kill. So Oogie, you know, getting caught out of position. Try to think, or you would think that Beaverbanger not going to let that happen twice. You know, maybe this is a team as well. Yes, Killblade. There you go. That you know, just get home from work in their case or whatever. You know, not necessarily having the most time to play, just yet to worm out for the day. So not to make excuses for them, but you know, perhaps just get the jitters out of the way. But yeah, the middle lane. Oh, the chuck and missed. He went for the combo on a Cthulhu Fawn, and well, he whiffed right there. So Boxy wants a second chance of that one.
I mean, you were talking about, you know, the Invis person being antsy, but now it was the person with the ref word being antsy.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
That's embarrassing.
That's embarrassing. No, good try, of course. But, I mean, I think Luna has done quite some work. And actually, mid lane.
Now they go, and they are Midas getting double stunned right there by the Elemental Warp. Going to be fine, Swiftblade. You see, he can't really chase Cthulhu Font, though. Look at her counter stun. Nice job with the creeps right there. Obliterate is up. Mana Sunder as well, just in case. Pebbles, he will go down in the end. Chuck onto his teammate. Aluna's down in a little bit of trouble as Moira's trying to get close enough. The shot to Harkon not going to hit, though. The power throw misses, though. And Cthulhu Font able to run away. At least for the time being, even with the finish time, yeah, he should be fine. Oh, middle lane, they actually will get the kill on a Swiftblade as well. Asuka comes in to help clean up for him. So, especially without ended right there in favor of complexity.
I'm so confused. So much went wrong for BMG there. Like the power throw whiffing, like that was a free kill on Cthulhu Fun. And I guess it was because he was stunned mid power throw, and then he didn't press S to cancel it, for example. But I don't know. At the same time, we could have seen Taro porting there. Did you like everyone was so low on Legion's side that stack up those crit charges, you know?
Yeah, and Ricochet again. It could be a powerful ability earlier in the team fights too. So You do question that a little bit, you know, perhaps getting a little too tunnel vision at the top lane.
Also, the Energizer plus Steam Boots plus Mystic Vestment screams to me, let's fight now. They've, like, as a carry, well, I'm not a carry player, but a carry should then definitely see to, you know, what's it called? He has to...
Well...
Yeah, he has to, you know, make the best of it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He has to take advantage of his items here. And, you know, especially being a Taro. It's not, you know, you like to see the carries in general. We talk about that all the time, of being active with your team, especially if you go the build like this. But you were stressing that point. That is a downside of Taro, that you do have to get someone involved earlier on to really benefit from her ultimate, get those charges added up. So... choosing not to port it in right there. I mean, maybe it's just like you almost kind of expected that fight to go a little bit better for BMG, but it did just fall apart for whatever reason. So, but now she might be in trouble. As we're talking about her, but this is going to be a big fight. In comes the Twisted Fate, or Bound by Fate, I believe. But nice stun from Pebbles as Cthulhu comes in. They're both in trouble now. Mammoth still trying to pursue down Taro, but he needs to get the hell on out of there. Behemoth also joining the party. He's going to try to hide in his little spot over here. He's going to stalk back in. They're going to know he's here now. You see the Chuck comes out. Maybe a fissure stun if he gets the distance. Not even necessary. Power throw will take care of business, and the tower kill goes down in favor of BMG. So Complexity setting up for a kill, but, well, it backfired right there.
I mean, I guess if Balthazar doesn't move from his lane, I guess the enemy and his teammates will just go to his lane to get him his charges up. You know, that works too.
Yeah.
But in the meantime, though, Oogie has gotten his mana ring. He still has good GPM for having one death on lane, to be honest. And Swiftblade, trying to roam a bit more, is actually struggling now. So I guess it's one of those situations as a suicide where you have to decide to either stay in your lane and make sure that Oogie, in this case, does not get free farm, or what you do is gank, hopefully successfully. But, I mean, oh man. He's just looking for kills. He could just be farming.
Yeah, the thing that that's really sticking with me, as you point out about Tara, is the fact that the items that he went for, it just doesn't make sense. It's why go this build if you literally have not left a lane at 13 minutes into the game? What good is an Energizer doing you? What good is even the Mystic Vestments, frankly, doing for you? So, yeah, I thought the Thunderclap made a lot of sense as you're talking about the synergy there. But Oogie, by the way, is in trouble. Pebbles coming in. Guess what? He has an item called a Portal Key, and it's pretty damn good on Pebbles, as he showed right there. So, good setup, and they get Beaverbanger taken out. So the lead continues now.
Yeah, that was like if they manage to keep the Beaverbanger down, then it'll go great for BMG. But like all they need is a snowballing Pebbles and a snowballing Swiftblade, and they got this game. Then Terror won't even be that necessary, so to speak. But if they don't manage to keep this up, then they really need to focus on getting that Behemoth PK, getting the Terror up and running, making sure that, you know, she has more than 12 charges on her ultimate. Actually, only 2, to be honest. I'm just going to say 2 charges because that's how many kills she's been in.
Yeah, that's true.
So, yeah. I mean, there's been 5 kills on his team, and she could have made sure that there were a couple more in that mid lane if he had ported instantly.
She doesn't lose charges, right? If she dies?
No.
No, that's not how that works. Okay. Yeah,
only Parallax loses charges.
Yeah.
I've played that hero a couple times in TMM. It's great fun.
Well, he's changed. I mean, yeah, he got the buff here this last patch. It seems like people have been reacting to that pretty positively. So we'll continue to see how he develops. But bottom lane, definitely very possible initiation. Aluna.
Oh, Fusin!
Oh my gosh, Fusin's just like,
no
don't
way.
Don't see me. Don't see me.
Please no.
Do
Please
not
no.
look here.
But
and
here comes
fine.
Pebbles with a haste.
There we go. Jumps in. The follow-up power throw, and down goes what you got. The patience there from Fusin. More so the staying alive, and eventually still the turn kill. And a Boxy, he wants more, damn it, but not gonna
Fusin's just a ninja.
Guess so. Apparently he's not even in BMG anymore either.
Yeah,
he's just ringing here today.
Oh my god.
Yeah, just a little bit of troll going on, clearly, guys. But
okay, so Balthazar picks up a Steam Staff. Shroud. I'm assuming Shroud is really effective because the chance to crit out of Invis. Plus, okay, now level 2 ulti.
It's almost like a gladiator style.
Yeah, exactly. That's what comes to mind when picking up a Shroud and then Rift Shards, of course. And, yeah, he's just farming away. And I think that the hero should be almost as active as a Puppet Master, but you know, there's also people who play Puppet Master who aren't actually very active. So I don't know. I gotta say, Balthazar is one of the more passive carry players. He lets his team do most of the heavy lifting, and then he isn't that so, Quincy? He usually has the highest well, he has one of the highest GPMs.
Oh yeah, I think he's top.
Yeah.
I think he's currently, or he was there for a little bit, I believe. So yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if he's one of the top, if not the top. So yeah, I agree with you there. I mean, it seems like he is one of the more of I want to sit back and get my farm on my team, and they usually do, to be fair. Boxy, of course, helps lead the way with that. Whoa, Root of Z using a shockwave right there to clear up these triple stack camps. So wants to get that portal key, damn it, and he's working towards it.
I mean, yeah, Chalice is such a great item now. I really love the change. It makes it more viable to pick up. I mean, heroes like Engineer also pick it up because they just need the mana constantly, and especially if you go Mind build.
Set those Mind traps.
I'm gonna forever say that was my idea, so be ready for that.
You ran it plenty, and it was fun to watch, I'll say that.
And yeah, I mean, Behemoth does have a bit more trouble farming these types of camps than other supports, but I think it's definitely worth it.
Interesting there. So he's pointing out, actually, he's number 5 in total GPM compared to players right now, as far as average goes. Beaverbanger actually number 1. Again, that I can't say I'm too surprised about, actually. Complexity, they are known for those longer games. They average the longest game out of any team. I know that for certain. And so expect another longer game here, no doubt, especially with the makeups of the teams. But, you know, we are used to seeing, especially when Beaverbanger's playing the Oogie, off to even a better start than this. But he has been struggling a little bit. Having those 2 deaths, 0-2-0, obviously hurting things, and just got the Gnome's Wisdom with the Ring of Sorcery. This is where you figure that Complexity is going to find kind of a key moment here to maybe start making some plays. I also think, did they get the Portal Key? Yeah, Portal Key on Midas,
that's what I was checking as well. I mean, if there's any moment to fight, I'd say, well, pickoffs. To be honest, if they go on a 5v5 fight right now, the only thing that BMG doesn't have going for them is the Behemoth PK. But for the rest, if Pebbles with his 2.3k gold now picks up a Soul's Bulwark or even starts on a Hellflower, because I know for a fact that Hellflower is going to be really effective versus Beaverbanger's Oogie. Yeah, I think that they could be in trouble.
So right there, Oogie's 8-0 when the game lasts 45 minutes plus. I still can't get over that. I mean, you figure a hero that's, it's all about magic damage would not scale like that, but he does. And Primal Surge helps. Now here we go, though. Pebbles, we missed the initial jump right there. The stun does come out, though. You saw that Bound by Fate pull them in. Now Mora's going to cancel some follow-up. Swiftblade's like, I'll join the party, though. Spin right on top. Enough for a kill. No, he says, I got to get on out of here, and he decides to fall back. In the background, how's nobody dead just yet? Jeez. After all that action coming out, Taro, she's going to get away with the Assassin Shot. Midas cannot get a transmute. Nice green stun from Aluna coming out. And you see Tara opening with that ricochet of hers, but she's actually spread out from her teammates. So regretting this decision and has the Assassin Shot in 5 seconds. I don't know if it's going to go off in time, though. It won't. She gets caught, and Balthazar eventually falls right there. Pebbles, he's looking to still come back in. He's got the portal key, choosing not to jump, though, without his team support. So he's going to stay falling back in. Wow, the only death is a Taro.
Yeah, decision-making was really off in that fight for BMG. Swiftblade said, let's go in, and the rest said, let's get out. I mean, I think they really stood a good chance to just kill everything. Because, I mean, Farscry was on one of the heroes, and then Taro just starts doing ridiculous damage. His positioning was also good. The only thing bothering him a tiny bit is this decently under-farmed Madman with 190 GPM. And he had, you know, a Behemoth right next to him, so I don't think that should have been too much of a worry. So I think that fight should have been won by BMG, but they just decided to back off. And when you're running away from a Midas with a PK and an Oogie who runs ridiculously fast with his W, of course,
yeah,
chances are you're not going to make it out.
You know, I do also I want to call out Boxy a little bit that fight too. We've seen a couple times this game he's kind of misjudged the chunk and kind of missed the initiation somewhat, and that was a prime example right there. His initiation was a little off with that portal key, and again, I'm not saying he doesn't know how to play Pebbles by any means. I'm sure he's played plenty of games on him in TMM especially, but this is not his typical tournament hero, to be fair. So I wonder if that's maybe playing a role here somewhat. And we'll keep an eye on that as it progresses. But yeah, that wasn't the best initiation from him in that fight either.
Yeah, it's unfortunate with Pebbles that if you miss your spells, it's a huge deal. There's like that hero has such long cooldowns on stalagmites that you get a combo off and then you're just auto attacking.
Yeah, I mean, granted, it's
you're
hard
auto attacking hard, but. I mean, it's still easy to kite.
You pick up this hero to land combos. I mean, there's no secret
exactly.
there. You don't pick him up to be a right-click hero by any means. Yeah.
Although he does carry in his own right.
Yeah, I mean, he can. If you build him that way, especially, definitely the demonic and whatnot from there. But
Hellflower as well,
yeah,
giving a lot of attack speed and damage.
Going to Hellflower here. What do you think of that? Passing up the idea of, say, a shrunken head. I mean, Oki, of course, going to lead to hell. There's a lot of magic threat.
I mentioned it earlier that Oogie gets hard countered by a Hellflower. Because I'm pretty sure the Conflagrate also turns off. I'm not entirely sure about that, though. Because it's maybe similar to Decay from Devour, who just keeps pooping everywhere. But
not sure.
Look at Taro top, by the way. Midas is waiting, though.
Yeah, if she opens here, I mean, she would need a big crit for one. You do see Mammon even has a Mighty Blade now, so yeah, it's not worth the risk, I think, if you're Taro. I mean, she would definitely need backup here.
I think she's just wasting time right now.
Not
Pebbles
really
is taking the woods, and so is Behemoth, so I guess there's that, but...
Yeah, she really went for a very... fight round. This is I just feel like this is a hero that could sit back and I mean honestly her skill set, the ricochet alone makes it a pretty powerful farming tool. And again I don't know if she's on Clanks' level by any means, especially him having the mobility and whatnot, but you would think that she should be able to flash farm fairly effectively and be up there in GPM, and she's had free farm this whole game and she's only 340 gold per minute. I feel like that's really low for where you figure she would be at, but
And like now she's looking for kills, but I don't know. Balthazar doesn't look too comfortable at this moment, trying to find kills. I mean, look at this.
Well, yeah, she was on top of an assassin shroud. Do they have any kind of dust? Oh man, if they had dust right there, that was a dead Taro.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, they are kind of careful because they didn't have any vision of Aluna, Pebbles, and the Behemoth, but at the same time. I really think she should have just gone for the lightning. I mean, she was given so much space, and instead of the, oh my god, 340 GPM?
Yeah, again, it's just seems like, how is that even?
What's happening?
Really? What are you doing? Yeah, no, she really is getting too focused. And again, I think this is one of these cases where it's a new hero. They're trying it out for the first time ever in tournament play. On our stat sheet at least, and it's kind of showing. It just seems like they're not really comfortable the play style of it yet, of how she should be played. So it's no doubt hurting the cause, I'm sure. And
I mean, they must realize it's a hard carry. So
well, yeah.
I mean, Shroud, it's such a TMM item, It's like, let's go stomp a Team M game. I'm going to go Shroud middle now, get a kill, and get out now. But
well, let me ask you this then. So why is Shroud actually considered to be a good item on a Puppet Master then, if you don't necessarily like it here on a Taro?
Because Puppet Master can set up his ultimate perfectly with it.
Yeah.
He gets to stand right next to someone, ulti, and then make the person attack the ulti, which is one of the best. Puppet is one of the best ganking heroes for that reason.
Okay.
Because I think it's one of the highest damage outputs. Like it outdamages a Pebbles, I think, in terms of raw burst, that ultimate of his. And if the enemy hero keeps hitting the puppet's not going to die because Puppet Show makes it that you can't kill the thing they're attacking.
Oh, I didn't think
Plus,
about that.
there's of course the Whiplash, which then cleaves onto the puppet for 100% which is then, yeah, it's a lot of damage.
So it's just, yeah, it's a ridiculous setup there, where Tero's like, I can open with a big auto attack.
Tero can't disable anyone unless they start running away with Bound by Fate on him. So that's where I'm like, he doesn't fill the same role specifically, but in laning phase he does, but after that, not so much, I'd say.
Yeah. Pebbles. Oh, Midas goes in. Pebbles is going to die right here. They were doing triple stack Ancients. He ends up going down. They catch a Luna on top of that, and now she's in double obliterate. It's going to do plenty to assist for the kill. Well, even gets the kill in the end. So I don't know how did they have vision? They just simply figure that they were there, I guess. They got some kind of scouting.
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure, to be honest. Did they use Moira illusion?
So I think, yeah, they obviously he went in there committed, man. So it seemed like they do.
Oh,
Moira's in trouble. Yeah, Moira's gonna pop the arcane vortex. Like, I gotta do something.
He might survive now. Nope.
No.
He was unlucky. There's a chance that you get moved to opposite sides, and then you have increased movement speed. So yeah, it'll be difficult to catch afterwards. But yeah, I'm still looking at that Tero, man. So much potential, and I feel it's being wasted right now.
Well, I mean, you also look at the supporting cast. Mankey actually getting the portal key right there on top of the Energizer.
Oh yeah, Mankey, and also Root of Z.
Yeah.
Picking up the key on Behemoth. That's the important thing, I think.
So they got plenty of initiation. Tons of initiation here on the Hellborn side. That's taken care of. So Swiftblade also going the Firebrand. You know, usually with this portal key build, we do see the idea of the Elder Parasite. But are you fine with him going the Firebrand, even though he went the portal key?
I would have preferred to see the Elder Parasite, but I'm not sure how I feel about this, because Firebrand is one of those items that, you know, you're going to turn it into something, and it seems to me that a Frostburn is a good way for him to, of course, catch up to Moira and Cthulhu Font when he's spinning, but I would have preferred to see more of the Elder Parasite Basher route to really make sure to lock down the Oogie for one, and the Midas. You know, they're all really slippery heroes. Yeah. I think. Oogie with that increased movement speed, then there's the Midas, Cthulhu Font, and Madman. And I assume, I hope at least, that Baba Ganoush, who has been playing phenomenally, by the way, 2-1. Oh, Tero.
Is she in trouble? She gets caught up here. Midas, or more, excuse me, with the illusion of Midas there too, of course. And yeah, there was no support nearby. And obviously, she's not a hero that has the greatest escape either. And eventually gets caught out there, especially with Dust. No chance to get away with that Shroud. Now, they already went Conquer in the meantime. And this should secure a Conquer kill, if anything. I don't even know if Complexity realizes that Conquer's happening, to be fair, but...
I doubt it, but I think they're going to get top tower in return. So it's not the worst trade, and especially because the token's not going to be on Tero, who's fairly squishy, and with the PK on Midas Cthulhu Font, he's going to... Like, simply said, I think that Tero needs a Shrunken ASAP versus this Legion team.
Yeah, I mean, she's sitting on 2,900 gold, so clearly something big is coming up. But that's the other thing, too. You know, with them killing Kongor while Tero's dead, I mean, that means Pebbles just picks up. I figure they would have given it to Tero if she was there. But her not being there, so they say Pebbles pick it up.
I mean, Tero was trying to port to mid, most likely to do Kong, because they thought that was their timing, but just unfortunate that Midas was able to spot it out with the Veiled Rot.
You know, I gotta do this real quickly. Chat's freaking out apparently about the pronunciation of Tero, and
it's not Tarot. It's not Tarot.
It's Tero. It's
Tero. It's like a tarot
and here,
card.
I got the ultimate. 1 second.
Tarot.
Tarot. There we go. There at dictionary.com is a very reliable source, and it's Tero. So we are correct. Damn it.
Yeah.
All
no,
right.
But on a serious note, a tarot card, it's not a tarot card, you know.
That's a very good point.
Yeah.
Yes.
Isn't that what the hero is based on, kind of?
Yeah, it's the whole idea of the gypsy.
Chance.
And, yeah.
Chance crit, yeah. Yeah, so...
Look at Oogie, man. 450 gold per minute. And, you know, it's kind of funny seeing Nullstone on them now, because... we can't make that joke of, oh, it's Nullstone, ha ha ha. No, well, they're Complexity now, so it doesn't really make sense. But no, but going to Nullstone here on Oogie, actually, do you think that's a good pickup here against this Hellborn lineup?
Well, Hellflower just picked up on Pebbles, so that's gonna do something. And I guess it's for like there's a bunch of small little abilities that are annoying, like the chuck, but you know you can chuck on yourself, so that's not the biggest deal.
Yeah.
But the Swift Slashes, Hellflower, and actually I would say Farscry. Because if you manage to put the Forest Cry on
Top
Oogie
lane.
and
We got to jump right here. Behemoth
Yeah.
goes in, catches. There's a Stalagmite follow-up. Beautiful positioning with the Chuck, but is it going to be enough? Problem Surge has popped. He's trying to stay alive, putting out the Tarquix right there. Is he going to be able to stay alive? It looks like it, and he gets the counter kill on it. Pebbles coming back up with the token, of course. But that is the only death so far. As Midas, yeah, he is going to jump back in, gets the combo on a Terror right there, but Oogie being chucked in now. He's in somewhat, no, he's not really in a bad spot. Chasing out Swiftblade doing a good kite though. The locked in on Oogie. Oogie is going to end up falling right there. Looks like he does go down. At least Pebbles may go down in return. Yes, he will. And in the background, Terror now once again being beat on by Madman. But now Madman needs to get the hell out of there. That's not going to happen though. It's a 3-for-1 exchange in favor of Bad Monkey Gaming. And
Oh, no.
is he fine? Okay, yes. Oh, did he DC?
yeah,
Oh,
man, that's
brutal.
so unfortunate. I mean,
Huh.
the Swift Slashes were used on Oogie for the full damage, and I mean Oogie didn't go down because I'm Oogie. Look at me. No, but imagine an Arcane Vortex in that situation. That would have been ridiculous. I mean, so much damage would have been saved on the Oogie, and really, really unfortunate. It's just one of those things you can't really do anything about.
Yeah, I find that, I mean, he disconnected. That wasn't even like a timeout or anything like that. So usually it would be a timeout if they actually just happen to disconnect from lag issue or whatever. But
Or crash.
I guess,
Yeah,
or
exactly.
crash even. But yeah, so I don't know. That's kind of, and they didn't even pause it, obviously. So whether they were just in the heat of the moment or something else was going on there, I don't know. But anyways, yeah, not having Moira there, safe to say that hurt their chances. But hey, BMG, they did what they had to do. And ultimately win that fight right there. So Taro does eventually get the shrunken head, by the way. We do see that here.
Yeah, I'm so glad that he
Talking
did.
about, yeah.
I mean, the one item I agree with now is
Yeah.
the shrunken head. The Shroud, he's trying too hard to get kills with it. But mid lane,
It'll land to Luna getting jumped on right here off the bat. The shockwave comes out. Luna's still alive even. Finally goes down, but look at that ricochet. It's doing plenty of damage, including on Oogie with that far scry up. He goes down, gets a kill on a Behemoth just before. But Taro and Swiftblade are still alive. Madman and Midas, though, are as well. And they're chasing them down. Taro, he's going to be locked down. And eventually killed off, actually. Swiftblade forced a portal key away. And get the hell on out of there. But, well, complexity this time comes out on top. They lost Oogie off the bat. Didn't matter. He buys back, actually. So maybe not even necessary there, really. But Madman and Midas able to do enough in the long run of that fight. Another DC. Jeez.
what I really find one of Millstone or Complexity's biggest, best thing about their team is that all the focus is always on Beaverbanger in terms of he's going to get the most farm. But look at Fuzzy Sloth. 350 GPM now. Sheepstick just picked up. And then there's Oscar. He came back to 270 GPM. And then there's what you got with 280. Like, they managed to get good farm on all of their heroes.
Yeah.
And that's why they're so good in the late game. Because they don't focus all their farm on one person. Which it looks like they have been because Beaverbanger is at that 440 GPM. But it's not the case. They managed to find farm everywhere, and that's a lot of respect for them.
Yeah.
To be honest, I don't see any other teams doing it in the same way that they do.
Yeah, as you're pointing out, yeah, that's perhaps, being a team that's known and notorious for going late game, that's just going to help them, obviously, in that long run. So, yeah, clearly Midas and Madman, the difference makers in that fight. So that farm definitely showed there, as you're pointing out.
And they, effectively get their farm. So they not only managed to hold on, but they actually have a lead on BMG right now, even though they were 4K behind at one point. And top lane.
Oh, they get the jump on to Taro, and she doesn't stand much chance. Maybe she does. Dust comes out actually on a Mammon right here. He's trying to get away with the trigger. Went in for the kill again, but Taro survives and gets on out of there with her team. And that is huge because that's more charges for her and obviously staying alive for farm purposes. Double damage. Pebbles in the meantime. He finds, Cthulhu Font right there. Mora, though, comes in with the illusion and is going to help him get away. And I think, actually, Pebbles should be fine himself. Yeah, he is. But, man, Taro, beautiful turn there on her way to now her next big item. Going to be curious what that turns out to be.
I was thinking the sheep stick from Midas securing a kill on Taro because it was kind of a surprise pickup. They didn't expect him to have this much farm, I'm assuming. But good that he managed to get away. Like, what I really liked is the fact that he used his Shrunken to dispel the dust and then go invis. And then the stock didn't do damage to him when Madman tried to finish him off. So really nice play from Balthazar.
Yeah, very smart, definitely, coming out from Balthazar. Helping to stay alive. But you mentioned the farm and other heroes, but man, I gotta say, look at BMG. Swiftblade and Pebbles especially even are up there. But Swiftblade even finishing a full Dawnbringer on top of the Abyssal Skull Portal Key that he wins. So you're looking at a lot of carry potential, honestly, on this Outborn side. Really in this game. I mean, both teams actually have some decent amount, to be fair. But what is continuing to be a pretty evenly matched up game, and again, you figure it ends up going to the later game because, well, complexity here. I think BMG's lineup is actually going to be, it's going to be hard to beat in the late game.
Yeah, they have the Behemoth factor.
That too.
If Behemoth manages to get a great ulti off, like, I think Initiation wins this game at this point because we know the potential from an Oogie in dealing continuous damage throughout a team fight, and you know that Shrunken from Taro is just gonna keep dwindling down to 5 seconds, and then when it's down to 5, Beaverbanger is just gonna wait for it. He's just gonna go on other heroes while the Shrunken is up, and then, oh look, Taro's over there. Then he's gonna focus her, because he can. That's what, you know, Oogie does. And same thing goes for the Swiftblade spin, so I already see Boxy doing what I wanted to suggest, which is go for a Shrunken Head. So he's not going to be able to, you know, get bursted down by all the magic damage from the Legion team.
Yeah.
And I'm curious to see what Maka is going to go. He did get a
with
TP.
the Dawnbringer, yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, after this, like, I would almost say go for Shrunken as well, but he also needs to get some more damage items. And that's where I'm curious to see what he's going to go.
All right. Well, now, an interesting choice here, too. Acolyte staff picked up by Oogie. Not too surprising, of course, but what will that turn into? You know, Frostfield Plate isn't necessarily the worst option, and actually Initiation right here. Pebbles jumping on the Cthulhu as well as more of the Shockwave follow-up. Makes it a pretty easy fight right there. Quick 2-for-0 exchange. Kongor's not up, so obviously not going to look to do that, but they're definitely going to try to capitalize some way out of that. And it looks like possibly pushing the middle lane into the secondary tower right here. So, nice find by them. And that's what the Ward of Sight will do. Another DC, jeez. Trying to figure something out there. But,
man, the Behemoth factor. I was talking about it, Initiation. I mean, this was just for pickoffs, but they stood no chance. I mean, the only ulti used was that of Behemoth. The Swift Slashes is still up. Like, this could very well... Well, no, not a base push. They respond really fast. Whoa. Only 16 seconds left on the Cthulhu Fund, so they're not going to be able to go base, but Kong should be up soon. Yeah, as I say it, he's
there you go.
he goes up, so this is prime time for that. Behemoth Shockwave is up in 60 seconds, and then they can look to push the top tower, or, you know, base, if they are so inclined.
So going back to what I was getting at, though, the Far Scry ability from Taro, it does actually minus 50% of the armor on the target that it's on. So that's where the Frostfield play, you know, is it really as beneficial in a lot of games? I mean, there is a lot of physical damage, but knowing that, could you think the Sheepstick just makes more sense here, or would you be fine either way?
Sheepstick, in my opinion, I do like the idea of a Frostfield plate to slow down the damage, but imagine he gets... Oh, there might be initiation. Imagine he Far Scries from 2k range away. Make sure... Well, just max range away, which is really far on that ability. And then it starts pounding in auto attacks on the allies rather than on the Oogie itself.
Oh my gosh, that Far Scry assisting for an easy kill onto Madman right there. And there you go. Genjiro also just finished now by Taro. Actually gets the token of life on top of that, so.
I mean, with that item, she scales really well, so. Look at the attack speed now. But what I was getting at is the attack speed from Frostfield Plate won't affect Taro if he's attacking from like 2k range away
Yeah.
on one of the allies. So yeah, I would prefer a Sheepstick just to make sure to lock down the Taro even more and the Swift Blade and the Behemoth if Behemoth jumps in, for example.
Yep.
Just like Sheepstick is one of those items that I think it's one of the best items in the game.
Mm-hmm.
Instant disable. Not a lot of heroes have that, and it's very strong.
That's an item that can do that. Yeah, seems like a might as well kind of case. 3,500 gold on Swiftblade now, so yeah, you're curious, as I'm sure many are, of what he's going to be going next. Well, we'll find out here sooner than later, you'd figure, with how he's saving up that gold at this point. Really a good amount of gold across the board. I mean, even 1,800 more on Taro, so obviously with the Genjiro recently. Now, get an answer on what she goes next.
You were mentioning the late game, and that's coming into play right now. They have the token, but they're not going to risk anything. Look at the map control that they've got. Mm-hmm. The wards by Fusin are clearly showing everything that the Legion team is doing. They're not even smoking. So actually, oh no,
There's
Fusin.
A jump, Sheepstick onto a Luna. Just giving some credit. Felt like you had to feed right there.
Yeah, I guess they didn't have vision of that one alleyway through the woods. I mean, I'd say that comes down to being unlucky in the end, that they chose to go that exact route. But then again, it's also a very common route, so Fusin, what are you doing?
Seriously, no, but they do have good vision, though, as you can see on the mini-map here. Yeah, geez, they really got a lot of... Oh, that one ran off, but...
Oh, Taro looking for the Moira.
Let's see how fast she can do some work right here. She opens. Yep.
Double crit.
Crits happen. That'll happen.
and that was without Farscry.
That was without Farscry, and I don't even think that was a proc out of Genjiro. I think that was just straight up crit. Well, yeah, no, it was. But
it was one proc out of Genjiro.
Yeah, one it had to be. But point is, yeah, she has a lot of hard-hitting potential, as we guessed. This point.
I mean, it's still just so unfortunate that she only has 9 charges on her ulti. I mean, it matters less now that she managed to get level 16 and level 3 of the ultimate, but it still hurts her. Because if there's going to be a big team fight and she doesn't crit that maybe 100 damage more, it could be a difference between a kill and not a kill, especially with an Oogie who keeps regenning. And... okay, yeah, never mind. Don't mind me. I've been talking a lot about BMG so far, but let's look at complexity a bit more. I really like the fact that what you got a puzzle box.
Okay. Yeah.
So yeah, I love the ability that if let's say Cthulhuphant is trying to get a bit closer to an enemy using Portal Key, he can spawn his puzzle box, which always spawns in front of you, and then charge his minions into the person.
Oh, that's fun.
So, yeah, so it also brings his creeps closer to the enemy immediately, so he's able to get the drain off and everything. So I think that's a really strong combo.
Yeah. Interesting stuff here. First off, Wingbow just purchased by Swiftblade, so just gets straight up Wingbow.
Damage item.
Yeah, but look at Taro. She actually split up the Genjiro to end up forming her own Wingbow as well. So kind of interesting decision there, but more range now, and obviously very fast and heavy hitting here. With that finished.
Yeah, I mean, who on the Legion team is going to pick up a Savage anytime soon?
No one.
I think that Madman is eventually going to pick it up, but I mean, he's probably going to get a Basher or something else before that. So Wingbow is a really strong item, except for the fact that if he gets sheepsticked, the evasion doesn't work anymore.
Yeah, that's a little awkward, I guess. But.
She's a ranged hero, but. I mean, now she has, what is it, 600 range, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah. Instead of 500, which is a big...
Is evasion, like, that great, though, against this Legion team compared to something else that she could get, like more of the Rift Shards route? I mean, it seems like the extra hard hitting would have been
Midas does some physical damage with the ultimate transmute, of course. Yeah. And you can't underestimate it. I mean, it's... What is it? 120 extra damage? Per attack? Yeah, 120 bonus damage per attack. So if he manages to evade just one of those, that's immediately 200 damage dodged.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well,
I mean, it's not the biggest deal in the world.
Yeah.
But everyone's auto-attacking constantly.
Yeah, no, it's you are mitigating some damage in the end, and she is pretty fragile still. I mean, obviously the Shuriken head helps, but not the biggest life pool. Swift Blade again. It's also kind of nice on him too, because he get obviously his passive already with the not the way of the sword, but counterattack. But then also now the wing bow being melee on top of that. A lot of return damage, almost like he has a barbed armor on himself at all times.
Oh, Moira illusion is coming out, but if he can find Moira, he's instead gonna attack the illusion and chase it around.
Maybe? Okay, there you go.
He wanted that 75 gold.
Yeah. Got the illusion killed off at least. Dude, top lane. No, it gets found! Oh, the courier spots him.
Oh, that damage.
He was just teleporting out right there. He gets found. In comes the power they're going to be missing. The portal key, though. And Fuzzy slot. No! The poor man's portal key will finish him off. What a chase right there.
That's a really big deal. Midas is like an insane counter pusher. I mean, Oogie is as well, but it still gives them an ability to go base. I mean, token is down, but and there's a buyback on Midas, so at least they can force a buyback. Ooh, Whispering Helm. Yes. Taro picked up Lifesteal, so they're really securing the late game with that. Instead of maybe going for like Frost Wolf Skull, he can now go for the Symbol of Rage and immediately makes him 700 HP tankier. So,
yeah.
Good choice, I'd say.
You kind of brought up earlier, I mean, it's not like, sure, he's getting some nice damage here, but again, it seems like the damage does scale a little bit better with, well, the crit chances that'll proc, as well as his Q ability even, but yeah, he is going for more of the stat style rather than raw damage. Anyways, initiation right here, Cthulhu went in first, and that clearly was a bad mistake right there, man. And he comes in as well. Sheepstick on a Swift Blade, he's in trouble. He spins in the last second though. Shockwave comes in with a counter initiation, and Swift Blade stays alive. They turn on the Oogie, they get the Kona Moira, double taps coming out, and now Midas be locked down. Look at the crits. He goes down. A hat-trick genocide is how we will finish things, and GG, well played. All of a sudden, just like that, the game's over, and game number 1 going to Bad Monkey Gaming here in this best of 5. So, I mean, obviously BMG was in the lead there, but I can't say I saw it finishing that quickly all of a sudden.
Yeah, awkward initiation, I'd say, from Cthulhu Fun. He managed to stun only one person with the line stun, and Fuzzy Sloth had just bought back, so he's not going to be anywhere near for the first maybe 10 seconds of the fight. So he got Swift Slash down immediately. So they're one man down, and then there's one guy entering the fight late, and then Madman runs in with a Shrunken, but guess what? That doesn't help versus Farscry. So I'd say just an awkward fight for the Legion team and a little bit impatient. But
what do you think we learned about Taro there? I mean, is this a hero that's actually got some possibility, you think? Or
I think the hero has a lot of potential. I don't think that this was the most efficient way to build him, but in the end, the W is what matters, right? Mm-hmm. So she managed to do 900 damage crits in the end, but I would also like to see some more damage. Like, imagine the Genjiro on top of that, plus the Savage, plus the Symbol. That would be finished items for me, in my opinion. And then she starts hitting hard.
It's a little RNG, reliant in terms of the random number generator. Obviously, in terms of, like, you can't guarantee that you're always going to get those crits. But, I mean, we even saw it the last fight there on the replay. You mentioned she was critting for 900. She had a lot of attacks. She went, like, 5 or 6 attacks in a row where she didn't get a crit. But then all of a sudden, then she got back-to-back 900 crits onto Midas at the end. So it's like the potential's there to be absolutely ridiculous when it comes to the crits, obviously, proccing. So it's just a matter of happening to have it proc, and obviously the more ulti, the better on that too. So anyways, game number 1 in the books right here. We got game number 2 coming up around the corner. Again, I'm sure it's going to be a quick break right here, and we got our second game here. What is a best out of 5? So ladies and gentlemen, stay tuned. Deadeye Bounty League action continues here on Honcast. Complex